Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Josh Handt. You're listening to the Chiropractic Philanthropist podcast. I have an amazing guest today. He's a returning guest. It's been some time. This is Dr. Eric Plasker. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here again. So excited to be with you as always. You dashing warrior, you.
Well, I'm glad because, in this profession, we need warriors, obviously like yourself. You stand out in the crowd for sure. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those that may not know who you are yet.
Well, it's been an amazing ride in chiropractic. I am actually celebrating my 36th year in practice right now. So that means I'm in the profession for 40 years. I love it now more than ever. Got into chiropractic after a football injury. They told me not to play for 30 days, take these opioids. And I said, are you out of your mind? At the time, I didn't know what an opioid was, basically. And I said, you know what, I want to play. Got adjusted, played that afternoon without any pain, and it changed my life forever. And so more passionate today than ever before as a chiropractor. And when I opened my practices, just struggled for a while, then broke through for many reasons. And now here we are. We've trained over 10,000 chiropractors around the world. We have a network we have international best-selling books. We are reaching the people, the public en masse. We are filling practices up with committed lifetime patients and having more fun than ever.
Yeah. So, it kind of reminds me, I'm going to ask you about your quote in a little bit, but, it kind of reminds me of, you never know how far reaching something you think, say, or do can affect the lives of millions tomorrow. You took that quote, hook, line, and sinker, right? For sure. I believe so.
Yeah. But I never did it because I wanted to take a quote somewhere. I think that's a big thing for me. People always ask me, did you always have this grand master plan about all of this? And I said, no, I have just been a really purposeful guy. I saw what chiropractic could do for people's lives. I wanted to help as many people as possible. I'm not a chest pounder. I don't want to say, hey, look at me. I want to say, look at what chiropractic can do and how do we reach the people, and asking questions that hopefully that the answers to those questions can make the biggest difference for as many people as possible. And so, it's an honor to serve.
Yeah. So, I'm seeing you, people are hearing you and potentially even going to see you. We're talking about books and all this stuff. We haven't even mentioned what books we're talking about. The company.
Well, we've done a lot. Certainly started out with what wasn't a book. It was a chiropractic Mother's Morning Out. It was a training program that had raising healthy drug-free families. And we had a human potential program. We had Live Your Life Without Limits. We had a family practice systems library, which was a 7-volume book on how to run a family practice, $1 million family practice. If you want it to be that big, it could certainly, if it could do $1 million, it could do $50,000 and $100,000 too. But that was way back before 2007. And then the 100-Year Lifestyle came out in 2007. And then the workout book came out, 100-Year Lifestyle Workout. And we realized we had a powerful brand. We actually had a drug company. A lot of people don't know this, Josh, but we had a drug company offer us a lot of money just for the 100-Year Lifestyle brand. They saw the value and we did not sell out. We will not sell out. We realized that we had something that we could take to the people, that we could utilize to get people literally lining up for chiropractic care the way they used to line up, still do, unfortunately. But in our world, in our vision anyway, used to line up for shots and drugs. And so we're doing that. We're seeing people line up for chiropractic care. And then we did, the second edition of the 100-Year Lifestyle. Then we did the 100yearlifestyle.com, which is an online magazine, which is about to be, by the time this hits, it'll probably be completely redone as more of a media site. And we're excited about that. And then in the pandemic, when that ridiculousness, I should say, hit, not to be insensitive to the people that suffered, but the most of what we learned and heard about it was a bunch of crap and ridiculousness. And we wrote a book that went crazy. It was called Becoming a Least Vulnerable Person. Mm-hmm. We did it for our 100-Year Lifestyle offices that just to get them out and be relevant at a time when people needed chiropractic care more than ever and to live without fear. So that's still going viral today. And it's right now having a massive impact.
Yeah. So, and I just want to share a little bit, from my personal side, knowing you for many, many years and and being part of this group, the 100-Year Lifestyle, I will say you keep things relevant to the time. Like you talk to the people. I mean, obviously you're helping the chiros, but the content that we have on our website, like my 100-Year Lifestyle website we have for our practice, and obviously the main 100-Year Lifestyle website, like it's easy to point people to that Least Vulnerable magazine or that digital magazine, and easy to point people to things that are relevant in time. And it's always bringing that conversation of the central nervous system, of chiropractic, of being healthier, being better, having higher performance, always, no matter the conversation. And it's a powerful thing, because when we meet people where they are in the world, it's easy to take them along for the ride. Like you talk about, like leading from the front. So I think that's like you handheld them and bring them forward, and that's very powerful.
Well, we want people to want it for themselves. I mean, listen, we hear all the time, we want, what's your why, chiropractor? What's your why? People always talk about that all the time. And honestly, what your why is important, but from a chiropractic perspective, the only reason your why would be important to somebody else is if your why was relevant to their why. And so we have always made it our mission to target everyone's why, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a mom, whether you're a dad, whether you're a senior, whether you're a kid on a phone, whether you're a sports enthusiast, whether you're a couch potato. We got a why. We're going to target your why, because every man, woman, and child should be under chiropractic care from the time they're born to their last breath of life. It is our core value. It is our mission. It drives us every single day. And so we have a saying: we target everyone's why, and we do it so that chiropractors can be great chiropractors. And I decided, when your practice grows, you realize, you don't want to chase people. You don't want to have to chase people. You want people wanting it for themselves. So we have always been purpose-driven in a way that got people to want it for themselves, it being chiropractic care, to want chiropractic care for themselves, so that if, God forbid, we all lost our voices tomorrow, they'd still be lining up for chiropractic care. And, I got to give kudos to my mentors, people like Joe Felicia, who taught me that. He said, Eric, you got to get bigger than your town, and you should always package chiropractic in the language of the day. That's almost a direct quote from Joe Felicia. And of course, your uncle and my mentor, Ernie Landy, obviously, who saw so many people. And, you come obviously from a great chiropractic family with the great friends of ours, your parents and your sister and brother. And so, we're just servants like a lot of other people in the world, with a unique ability that can reach the people and also brand why chiropractic in the world that gets people to want it for themselves.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, I want to thank you for having this and sharing this with the world, because it's very powerful. And it's another way for people to find us, right? To find a healthier way to live, period. So let's just transition into this. I shared a quote with you before. We all, as chiros, love different quotes and different things. What's either an original quote or an affirmation or something that you love, or a success quote that it has meaning to you?
All right. So I got a couple for you real quick. The first one is if you love something enough, it will reveal all its secrets to you. I love that quote, because a lot of people will say, well, if you'll just tell me the secret, then I'll fall in love with it. And the reality of it is, it's just backwards when you think that way. It is really, if you love something enough, it will reveal all its secrets to you. It was definitely true with my wife. 34 years, we had chemistry initially, and we fell in love. And after a while, you realize love is a choice. And, we kept choosing love 34 years later with 3 kids that are grown up chiropractors. And, I look back on that, and it's through that love and loving her enough that the secrets of our marriage have revealed itself. And so I love that quote. And that's helped me in chiropractic a lot too, because I love chiropractic. So I constantly give my heart and soul to it. And it's always bringing me new ideas and new things and new chiro creativity, I call it, because I love it. And if I didn't love it, if I just waited and sat back, okay, give me the next one, please. Come on. I've been waiting a long time. It doesn't work that way. And so that's the first quote. The second quote, which I think is relevant for our public and for what we do in the world, and this is an original quote. The next two will be original quotes. And it says, your innate intelligence will organize around the thoughts you think, the choices you make, and the lifestyle that you live. And that's so important, because people feel hopeless because they've been making bad choices, or they're overweight, or they're toxic, or they're sick, or they've been jabbed and they're having reactions. And, your innate intelligence has kept you alive because it has organized around your lifestyle and choices and thoughts. In spite of you, your innate intelligence still has you here. That is a miracle for most people on planet Earth today. And so the cool thing is when you change back and you change your consciousness, and we call it living your ideal 100-year lifestyle, 100% for 100 years, and you start making different choices, you can have faith that your innate intelligence will organize around your new lifestyle and your new choices. I often joke, I was 60 pounds heavier in 2002 than I am today. And I think for a while, my innate intelligence was thinking, okay, I get it. You're trying to become a grizzly bear. Okay. And it's going to be a long winter. Okay, I got it. We're going to back on the pounds. And so, I decided to change my life, and guess what? Innate responded. And so if you're alive and breathing and there's life flowing over your nervous system, if you're willing to make some changes, get adjusted, keep your nervous system healthy, then your body will adapt back. And the third quote real quick is the doctor of the future quote by Thomas Edison. You know that quote, right? The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame and diet and in the cause and prevention of disease. Well, it pissed me off one day because I realized, first off, it was a time I was using that quote for screenings and for lectures, and a lot of chiropractors were using that quote. And I had just come out with the 100-year lifestyle, and I was being severely misquoted. And it got back to me that I was being severely misquoted. So I had the thought, I wonder if Thomas Edison was misquoted. I wonder if he actually said it. So you remember Sergio, right? Sergio, who worked for us. So I reached out to Sergio and I said, Sergio, can you do some research, find out if Thomas Edison said it? And he came back to me literally in like 5 to 10 minutes. And he said, Dr. Plasker, he did say it. And I said, when did he say it? He said, well, he said it. Thomas Edison said that quote in 1903. And it was 2010 at the time. And it really made me mad because I realized 107 years is enough. We have to stop living in the future. We need to be present. So I changed the quote. And so since 2010, we've been teaching this quote: the doctor of the present will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of dis-ease. So be present. And what I love about that, Josh, is that I literally changed one word and added a hyphen. That's all I did. I changed future to present and added a hyphen, disease to disease. And it changes everything. And so I believe with all the core of my soul that it is time for us to be present, to be the doctors of the present, that chiropractors are the doctor of the present.
How amazing would it be if you could practice because you want to, not because you have to? Learn how to improve your cash flow and increase your passive income now. Go to moneyripples.com or find their podcast, The Chris Miles Money Show, to learn more.
That's huge. I mean, like changing your own perspective and changing the perspective of something that was written in 1902?
1903, January 2nd, 1903.
1903. So I think that's really a great way to look at like perspective. We've been living in the past, thinking about the future versus living in the now, which is crazy. So, I mean, you just made me like, I've heard you say that 100 times and seen it. I think we even have it on the wall in our office probably, right? Like, type of thing. But yeah, that's great. So let's transition to, what's amazing, what's going on right now in your life and under your lifestyle, whether it's family or whether it's the business or whether it's, impacting people around the planet. Like what's like really exciting for you right this moment?
Well, from a family perspective, I'm excited about the opportunity to celebrating 34 years of marriage next month. Really excited about that. My wife and I, we've been through so much together, and it took us 34 years to. People ask me, "What's the secret?" And I say, it took us 34 years to reach this day, and we never quit. Could have quit a lot of times, and I think over the years we've learned to overcome. We've overcome so much. And so I'm excited about the confidence and the wisdom that comes with knowing that you can overcome pretty much anything, insurmountable. So the craziness in the world, my wife, Lisa, says to me all the time, how could you be so optimistic? And I tell her, I say, well, I'm an optimist grounded in reality. And the reality of it is we're still here. and we're getting stronger and stronger than ever. So, from that perspective, that's exciting. And I feel like the world is waking up to our ideas. And it took this crazy crisis, man-made crisis, to get the world to wake up. And you know what? Sadly, not everybody's going to wake up, but people are waking up. So for us, from a business perspective, it's accelerator pedal time. We have new 100-year lifestyle, your website that we are building for people all over the country. We have people changing over to 100-year lifestyle co-branded websites. They want they want this be a part of this common message in the world, and we can deliver it in a way that's efficient and fast with upgraded content, really cool platforms. So you should check out some of those. That's exciting. We have a vault that has literally 30 years worth of wisdom that has any question. It is like the Google search, and I hate that word Google, but it is like the Google search for everything: chiropractic, personal development, business, patient education, marketing, staff training. There's thousands of trainings in there, and there's great marketing in there. So we're producing, I believe, the best marketing that we've ever done for chiropractors, because it's just helping get people lining up for care. So we are an innovative machine right now with constant, fresh, new things. We came out with, at the end of December, we did a marketing campaign called Primary Care with a Natural Flair. And we're attracting families with it, whole families from day one that are searching for new leadership. Becoming a least vulnerable person, we decided to open that up to the whole profession. So you don't have to be a 100-year lifestyle office, which is not a franchise, by the way. We just basically license you the resources at a great, reasonable price so that we could deliver a common message in the world. And we're not just a bunch of babbling solo acts that nobody can understand who we are as a whole. So we just wanted to do something like that with a brand that could attract people for lifetime care. So if you think like us, come share the content. But we did that. We're doing that with the marketing campaigns and the Becoming a Least Vulnerable Person. We have it in an ebook format now, where even if you're not a 100-year lifestyle office, we'll co-brand it for you at a really small fee. We'll co-brand it for you so you could use it, because we had a doctor just recently out of Pennsylvania who that he got this, and he said it literally flipped a switch in his staff. They realized how impactful chiropractic was on health and the immune system. And this guy had a great practice. And as a result of the results, they started scheduling more people for what we call lifestyle care. They started scheduling, the missed appointments dropped. People were committing to longer term care plans without force, without pushiness. They were coming in asking for it. So obviously, what did they do? They jumped on board with everything that we have. But, listen, we just want to get as many people under chiropractic care as possible. And these are just some really exciting innovations that we have done in, well, probably the last 6 months.
Yeah. This is crazy. So, chiropractic is always looking for like that like quick, easy road to success. And I don't really think that truly exists. But I think you have like that yellow brick road mentality now that you've been like laying the bricks and saying, let's go. So taking people on that journey. So it's powerful. We love the becoming the least vulnerable. Like that was just a huge thing in our practice for sure.
Well, I'm glad. And what's interesting when you say the yellow brick road and follow the yellow brick road, people often, there was this book that came out called The Blue Zones. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. How do you get out of the red ocean where, everybody's killing each other like their competition? And we are out of that. We are definitely a blue zone company. People ask us all the time, how do you offer all of that you offer at the price that you offer it? Because our core prices are pretty close to what they were in 1999 for way more services and products and things like that we deliver. And people ask me, how do you do it? And the answer is that, for 30 years, we've never wavered from our vision, and we just keep adding tools and technologies without having to change the price.
Yeah, that's very cool. So let's jump into this next segment, which we call, Back to the Future. So here we go, right? If TCP has a time machine, we send you back to the time of your younger version, your younger self, right at the start of practice. You have all your current knowledge, life experience, straight out of chiro college. You can say anything to your younger self. What do you say?
Well, the first thing I might say is that, well, sonny boy, there's going to come a time in the not too distant future that your bright orange afro is going to disappear and it won't matter. Because it's funny, I look back, I show that picture of me when I got into practice. I did have a big orange afro, and people joke with me now, Plasker, what happened to your afro? And I tell them now I wear it on the inside, not on the outside. And so the first thing I would tell that young fellow is that that hair is overrated, and that is true. The second thing that I would say is that time is on your side. That principle number 6 that I remember, of all the 33 principles, I loved them all except for that one. That one used to really be frustrating to me because I always had this burning purpose that I could not explain. And it would frustrate me when people couldn't see. And so one of the reasons why I work so hard on my speaking skills and my communication skills, we have, as you know, we do a program called Speak Up and Lead, and getting people to find their voice. It was a journey to find my voice. And the reason why I was so driven to do it is I got very frustrated that people didn't get it. And I took responsibility for people not getting it. And I think for a while when I was younger, I was probably overcompensating with passion that was sometimes misunderstood because people didn't necessarily get it. And so I would tell that young person, I would say, keep working on your skills, take a few deep breaths. Time is on your side. Set your goals, set them high, but be patient with the world because everybody's had their own experience. Everybody's had their own background. Everybody has their own parents. Everybody had their own, whatever it was that they had, interpretations of events and situations that may have happened. So just take a few deep breaths and be patient, a little more patient with people, and just know and trust that time is on your side if you stay true. And so I said today, that's what I would tell that person. And today I would say, because I have stayed true, in spite of sometimes how it was interpreted or misinterpreted along the way, because I stayed true, it's exciting to know that we are still here, stronger than ever. So many other people have come and gone along the way, thousands of them. Good people, nice people, passionate people, caring people, some not so, but we're still here. And so I believe that if everybody out there, wherever you are, if you're that young person or you're that person that maybe is at a wall, just know, stay true. Trust the process, stay on the path, don't settle, be patient, take a few deep breaths. Time is on your side.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. So let's go to the other end of the spectrum now. What does the future hold for Dr. Plasker?
Well, we are just looking to accomplish that same vision, people lining up for chiropractic. I believe right now is our time to lead. So the world is opening up. People are asking questions that they never asked before. People are looking to chiropractors in ways maybe that they never looked to chiropractors before. And so to me, this time in history is a time that we have worked for this opportunity. I say we in our company, the people that are I'm close to, like your dad and like your mom, and the people at Life University that we work with, and the people in the state associations where I speak at all the time. We realize this is our time. The other side is revealing their evil in ways that are unimaginable, and people are looking for leadership. We have patients that come in and they'll say to us, you know what, I do not trust my doctor anymore. I'm never going back. I do not trust my pediatrician anymore. I'm not going back. I can't find a pediatrician. I'm not going back. And they're looking for answers in ways that they have not ever looked for answers before. And so I think what's really important for us is we need to deliver with integrity and with truth. We need to deliver and keep delivering our message to the people in a way that they can digest it. And when I say that they can digest it, that doesn't mean watering it down. It means that, and you may have heard me say this, it's in the vault, we have calls on this, but peers versus people. So we have learned the difference between the communication between peers and people. When I go to an event and I'm talking to a group of doctors, those are my peers. I talk to them in doctor language and I get through to them, thankfully. And when I'm talking to the public, I am talking to the public, people, earthlings, ordinary people that have, listen, people joke, we joke all the time. You can't even get chiropractors to read a green book, never mind the public to read a green book. You know what I'm saying? So we have to make it relevant for the people. So we are very, very committed to getting chiropractic to the people in a way that gets them to want the care for themselves for a lifetime with their family for generations, and equipping chiropractors to get as many people under chiropractic care as possible from the time they're born through their last breath of life, with chiropractors as their primary healthcare provider. And so, that has never wavered. And just as technologies change and as the world changes, we're just going to continue to stay relevant. It's just a part of our culture. And that's pretty freaking exciting because it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. Relevant is important. People versus peers, super, super important. So I have 3 final questions for you.
Okay.
Then we'll wrap things up together today. First question, who was or is the greatest influence on the person you are today?
Wow. I'm going to say a couple of people. First of all, I'm going to say my parents. I really feel like I was blessed to have parents that love me and who are imperfect and in their imperfection. But the wisdom and the love, I learned a lot of how I wanted my life to be and a lot of how I didn't want my life to be, and both were valuable, and I love them for it. My brothers, really close with my brothers. They're great friends. The friendship, the loyalty that we have with each other, it's been fantastic. My wife, and I'm going historically now, my wife, from a family perspective, believing in me and supporting me in the vision, to have that kind of support has been tremendous. And there were times when I had to fight for the support. By the way, it didn't always come easy, but I had to fight for the support. And she could have not stayed, and she stayed. And so I'm very blessed that I earned that from her. And then from a chiropractic perspective, I would say Ernie Landy, of course, amazing influence. Spring Valley, New York, my chiropractor gave me my first adjustment. Joe Felicia, amazing man who taught me so much, God rest his soul. Alex Cox from the Gonstead Clinic, who I called in the middle of the night when my son had an accident. And he said to me those magic words that I've said a million times when they told me my son would never walk, talk, or use his arm after an accident. And he said, Eric, they may be right, they may be wrong, get the pressure off the nerve, do it now. I wouldn't be here today if he didn't say those words to me. And then, today, all the people that are working that don't go away, people like Jay Handt, who is a warrior, who just, if he's listening, Jay, you're a pain in the ass because you never go away and you're doing so much, and we're grateful. And so many good friends that are out there that are just fighting the good fight in the world. I think it's, and people like you, the young people rising up. I'm calling you a young person because you are rising up, stepping up to the plate of sharing your voice, your heart, soul, and spirit with the world. All of those are mentors, even today.
Right. And here, this is going to be a good one here. What is the best advice, not you've ever given, but you have received?
I'm going to go back to what I said a little bit earlier. Stay true. Stay true. When times are tough, and everybody goes through tough times, I had an attorney one time when I got in a business situation years ago, and all of a sudden $250,000 was gone from my account, and it was pretty screwed up. And the lawyer said to me, he said, Eric, sometimes the best thing to do is something, and sometimes the best thing to do is nothing, and just kick their ass on the field, and I learned a lot from that, because so much of like what we teach is we teach doctors all the time is there are things that you need to do and there are things that you need to not do. And so sometimes the results come from the things that you do, and sometimes the results come from the things that you stop doing because you're getting in your own way. And so that was great advice that I received, and along with some of the others that I told you earlier.
Yeah, of course.
We've got a lot of advice. That was just a new one that just popped into my head.
Good. So what invaluable resource, whether it's a book, a podcast, something that you cannot live without?
Well, I have a lot of books that I have read and decided that I needed to make them a part of my spirit and take ownership of. One of them is Good to Great by Jim
I figured you were going to
Collins.
say that.
I love that book. He's got a series, so I like them all. There's Good to Great. There's Great by Choice, which I love. That's another one of the 4 books in that series. Another one is Built to Last, and then the last one is Why the Mighty Fall. And so, a lot of companies in our industry and a lot of companies in the world that are here today, gone tomorrow, and they were strong at one point. So those are 4 books that I really, really like, that I highly recommend we bring those into a lot of our teachings in the vault as we teach chiropractors in this 100-year lifestyle model. And then another book that I really, really, really like, a lot of wisdom, is Principles by Ray Dalio. It's Life and Work Principles by Ray Dalio. And it's interesting. He has the first half of the book is his personal story, and then he tells you how he came up with these principles of life and work that are success principles that I think are really, 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 really good. They're not fluffy. They're not cool. They're just cool.
Very awesome.
They're real. They're really good. And then he gets into how he applied those to his business life, and he built Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world at that time. So I love that book. And I actually have the app, and I get his daily principle of the day that flashes on my phone. And, don't chase shiny objects. We say, stop chasing cool. We'll tell people all the time. He says, don't chase shiny objects. And he talks about believability weighted decision-making. There's such an important thing. There's so many really bad ideas that look cool today. That is the crisis of the day. Really bad advice that looks really cool or sounds really cool. And so it helps keep me grounded, and we're just getting started, man.
And awesome. So thank you so much for that, Eric. So everybody, you can find the links to everything we spoke about, the resource, everything else we've been chatting about in today's episode, going to the chiropracticphilanthropist.com. So Dr. Eric Plasker, as you know, I truly enjoy chatting with you, right? And you inspire me, and I know you're going to inspire this audience every time they're going to listen and hear this message, and maybe another time in the future again, in your second 34 years or 30 years of practice, right, that we're going to be going through.
Crazy.
So I'm going to ask you one more thing. Is there a way that people can find you or contact you, and then we'll say goodbye?
Yeah, for chiropractors, specifically chiropractors, if you want to see, reach out to me, 100yearchiropractors.com, the number 100yearchiropractors.com. That's the best place to find me. And from there, you can send us an email, contact us, or you can email me directly, Dr. Plasker, DrPlasker at 100yearlifestyle.com.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Links to everything of value we have mentioned today's episode is going to be at thechiropracticphilanthropist.com. Dr. Eric Plasker, thank you so much for giving back today, brother. Appreciate you.
Man. Say hello to Ed for me. Give him a big hug.
Will do.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Chiropractic Philanthropist.